Coming up, we're going to be showing you how to trade the correct score market on Betfair while keeping the risk as low as possible. This might be the perfect approach for beginners who are new to football trading, new to the correct score market, maybe a little overwhelmed or even afraid of the correct score market. And I have tons of real life trading demonstrations for you to check out so you can see it done before your very own eyes. Go grab a nice cold beer and let's get into it. So when you're starting out trading the correct score market, it can often be complex, confusing, and overwhelming. And if you think that, you're not alone, since there are so many moving parts to this market. And so if you are starting out trading the correct score market, what we're going to be doing in this video today is showing you a more simple and lower risk approach to trading the correct score market that I think many beginners should try immediately. As soon as the video is done, head into the markets and start giving it a go. Now, how this works is that, look, if you are new to trading the correct score market, or maybe you've seen some of the videos, you will know that usually we're going to back multiple scores when we're trading this market. We're not just backing one score and then hoping we get on that score or whatever. Nothing like that. We will be backing multiple scores similar to what you can see in the screenshot. And here's the thing. The fewer scores covered, the bigger the profit potential. So if you're only covering 2, 3, 4 scores, then you've got bigger profit potential on those score lines. And now, obviously, on the flip side, the more scores covered, the lower the profit potential, to the point where if you covered all of the scores, then your profit would be 0. So you're obviously going to have to find the scores to cover and the scores to ignore. That's part of the skill of correct score trading. But generally, you need to find your own personal sweet spot. So whether that is covering 3 or 4 scores, 5 or 6, it's totally up to you. It obviously much will depend on the type of profit you're trying to achieve, your risk reward ratio, etc, etc. But anyway, what we're going to be showing you in this video is exactly that, covering a lot more scores and seeing how the trades play out. And so what could happen if you cover 6, 7 or even 8 score lines? What if you covered 8 of them? Could this be a low risk way to trade the correct score market? Obviously, the more scores we cover, we're going to have a higher strike rate, a higher success rate with our trades, but the profit's going to be a bit lower. But obviously, at the same time, can we find a balance? That's the idea anyway. So look, I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm just going to pretty much dive into some real life demonstrations where we're going to do pretty much what I've just mentioned. We're going to cover a whole bunch of score lines on certain football matches, and we're going to try and trade our way to profits as the goals go in or if they don't go in, okay? It's going to be a pretty fun video ahead. So let's get into that right now. But before we do, as you know, really love it if you could click the like button, help support the channel. Most importantly for you, you should hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. The subscribe button doesn't really work much. The notification bell should get you a notification as soon as one of our new videos goes up so you can watch it straight away. So make sure you click the like button, click the subscribe button and that notification bell. But let's dive into it. As mentioned, I've got loads of real life demonstrations. We're going to cover a whole bunch of score lines and let's see if we can trade our way to profits. And let's also see what the risk reward ratio is like. Okay, let's check it out. Let's get into it right now. So we've got an FA Cup match here. Southampton at home to Blackpool. Southampton here. The Premier League team, £100 is going to return you 46% on your stake. So £46 of profit. But let's see if there's a way we can squeeze more out, considering Southampton are market-wise most likely going to win this match. And so we've covered a fair amount of score lines in favour of Southampton and even taken plan B on a 0-0 or a 1-1. And still ended up with £71 of profit potential. And we can obviously leverage that up during the match to make even more. So obviously, ideally, if we can make more than the £45 locked in, then this is a worthwhile trade. But anyway, let's see what happens. It's the FA Cup. So Look, anything could happen. Southampton against Blackpool, just about to kick off. So we reached half-time in this one. Southampton 1, Blackpool 0. All going to plan so far on the 1-0 to Southampton. We've got to anticipate there will be more goals in this one. So we're going to lay off this 1-0 scoreline and get some more green on the other scorelines. Lower the overall risk on the trade just in case it goes completely crazy. But, yeah, so far so good. As you can see now, we're pretty much break even. If it does remain 1-0, then we've obviously called it wrong, and we're only going to break even. 1-1, 2-0, next two possible scorelines. Let's see what happens when we land on those. Southampton 1, Blackpool 0 at half-time. 64 minutes on the clock. Southampton have doubled the lead. They're now leading Blackpool 2-0. So this is definitely going to plan. We're still anticipating another goal. The time on the clock, the probability is suggesting we should get another goal in this one. So we're going to lay off the green on this 2-0 scoreline and put a bit more profit on those next possible scorelines and really lower the risk on this trade just in case it does go completely crazy, which probably not going to happen now. We are pretty much in full control of this, but you've always got to err on the side of caution. So now you can see if it does remain 2-0, it is going to end up a break even, but the money should be made and a very nice profit should be made upon that next goal. And of course, just to show you guys, could cash out now, 39% return. Not quite what we're looking for. We want a bigger profit than that. Anyway, Southampton 2, Blackpool 0. Let's see if we get another goal. Blackpool have just pulled one back. It's now Southampton 2, Blackpool 1. So bit of a potential twist on the cards with this one. So it was cruising towards a comfortable Southampton win, but yep, that's not gonna be a possibility now. So look, we're on this 2-1. We didn't cover 3-1. So and the cash out's offering us there £30. So look, the most or the least we should do at least is just remove the risk from this trade. And yeah, let's get that out of the market. And it will give us pretty much a £77 free bet on the 2-1 to Southampton. And we can just pretty much let that ride. We've got no further risk in the match, and we're just going to have to let this ride now as a free bet. Bit of a obviously twist in the script. This wasn't going to completely to plan, but here we are. Most important thing, the risk is out of the market. We got that free bet on the 2-1. We'll let it run for a little bit longer, see if we make it, maybe we can cash it out or lock it in a little bit later, but let's see. Southampton 2, Blackpool 1. Final score in this one is Southampton 2, Blackpool 1. So we just let this run as the free bet. Decent value in it really, and we've managed to make that return of £77. Remember, if another goal goes in, yeah, we're not going to make a profit, but we're break even. It's not the worst thing in the world. I always want to remind newbies and beginners of that. I know a lot of newbies and beginners are always like, hey, see the profit, grab it and lock it in. Doesn't matter how big or small it is, okay? But in this case, let it run with a free bet on the 2-1, and it's come off. If there was another goal, it wouldn't not the biggest deal in the world. There's plenty more matches where that came from. This time it worked out. So interesting trade there. Southampton 2, Blackpool 1, the final score. We were cruising. It was all going to plan. Blackpool pulled one back, and it made it a bit of a, bit of a strange finish in the end. But in the end, we've made a profit. So yeah, final score 2-1 Southampton. So we've got this match with FC Heidenheim against Hansa Rostock. This is the German Bundesliga 2. And you can see the home team, the favourite there, under 2.5 goals is the favourite also. But let me show you how many score lines we've covered. So we're using a £100 stake, and we've got pretty much £51 of green on all of these score lines. So 0-2, 1-0, 1-2, 2-0, 2-1, 3-0 and 3-1. So quite a lot of score lines covered, which should cover us in a lot of eventuality. And the aim is to try and see if we can make at least that 50% return. Maybe we can lay off some scores, make a bigger return. Anyway, let's see what happens. It's just about to kick off. Be an interesting experiment. Let's see. 80 minutes on the clock. We had to wait a long time for it, but we've got the goal. We've got the breakthrough. It's 1-0 to Heidenheim, and we've landed on a target score. So you might think, well, let's just let it run, because look, we've got 1-1 covered. We've got all the next possible score lines covered, etc., etc. And you could do that. Probably no action to take, and you could walk home with a 50% return on the stake. But as mentioned, remember, we were expecting 2 goals in this one, and we wanted to use the 1-0 as leverage. And so actually it kind of gives us a good opportunity, okay? We were never really, according to this plan anyway, we were never gonna take just the profit on that 1-0. We were always going to try and use it as leverage. In this case, the goal has come quite late, so we're going to pretty much lay off the green on that 1-0 and be happy to just break even. But if we can go on to the next possible scoreline, then we're looking at a substantially bigger profit, okay? Tripling our profit. So let's see if we can do it. Worst case scenario, we just break even on it, okay? FC Heidenheim 1, Hansa Rostock 0, 81 minutes on the clock. 88 minutes on the clock. We've had another goal. It has gone 2-0 to Heidenheim. I told you it was worth doing. So anyway, look, the cash out is there. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to pretty much repeat the trick. We're going to go again because we've then got 2-1 as the next scoreline and 3-0 as the next scoreline. So we're going to lay off 100 on the 2-0 that we're on. And as you can see now, that will give us 132 if it remains this score. If it goes on to the next scoreline, the 2-1, then we'll go up to 2-5-2, the same on the 3-0. And then we'll probably have to exit at that particular point, okay? But it's very, very late in the match now. Probably won't be any more goals. But, yeah, anyway, let's see what happens. It's just about to end, and we'll give a summary in just a moment. So we are deep into injury time on this one, and it looks like the 2-0 to Heidenheim is going to be the final score. But just to review, you saw how the trade played out. Pretty low risk. We covered a lot of the very likely scorelines to come in. 1-0 late on. We leveraged the green on the 1-0, so we weren't just going to settle for the profit on the 1-0 because otherwise that would pretty much just be having a bet, wouldn't it? So we leveraged up that 1-0 and we've created more green, and in the end £132 is 132% return on our stake. So yeah, very nice risk reward ratio, and again we're 1 goal away from an even bigger profit, which is always a nice position to be in heading into injury time when you get that very nice bonus goal. So anyway, just another good example of the possibilities trading the correct score market. And as said, if you're a beginner, backing lots of the score lines, not a bad way to start out, especially then if you're going to apply some of the principles like leveraging late on. Anyway, this is pretty much the final score, I'm sure. FC Heidenheim 2, Hansa Rostock 0. So I hope you're enjoying it. I've still got a few more real life examples of this, and the next one I think you're going to find really, really interesting. But while you're here, if you are interested in learning how to trade the correct score market and go to the next level with it and pretty much master the whole market, we do have a course called Correct Score Mastery, and this course will teach you everything you need to know about trading this market. And in the course, we do show you the ideal target score formula to use on the correct score market. Obviously today you're seeing us cover a whole bunch of score lines. Well, we're going to show you not only how many score lines to cover, but the most ideal score lines to cover. So you're pretty much always in a good position no matter who scores, and you could always react no matter who scores, okay? The majority of the time. We also show you how to do things like creating free bets on certain score lines, how to leverage up the score lines to make bigger and bigger profits, because that's what it's about. It's not really about locking in the small profits. It's about trying to chase those big wins on the correct score market. It can be quite a volatile market, so those big wins do come in handy. And you do get 3 low risk, high reward strategies to use on the market: the Q blue, the Q green, and the Q red. The Q system package. The Q blue is the beginners, Q green is for intermediate, and Q red is for advanced. And the idea is that you progress through each system till eventually you get to the Q red, and then once you get to that, then from there you should actually really be in a position to start using your own target score formula and formulating your own correct score trades. But anyway, there's so much in this course. The best thing to do is to download the course prospectus ebook. It's free to download. The link is in the description of this video, and the ebook will have all the details that you need to know about the program, because there is quite a lot to take in. And just a heads up, correct score markets, very sensitive market, also very advanced, as you've seen. I mean, today we are showing you a beginner's approach, so maybe this could give you the experience you need. But either way, we can't just take on anyone onto the course. You have to fill out the application form that is inside the prospectus. Okay, so there's an application form right at the back just to make sure you're a good fit. If you're not a good fit, it's going to end up being a headache for both of us. So the best thing to do is to fill out the application form, and then we'll get back to you with further information. And so as I said, look, click the link in the description and we'll send that book right to you for you to check out. Anyway, let's dive back into this. More live examples, correct score trading. We're covering a whole bunch of score lines and we're just seeing how the trades play out. Okay, let's go back into it right now. We've got a match from Germany, Bayern Munich at home to Frankfurt. Bayern Munich, short price favourite, 1.41. As you would expect, and the market's really expecting goals in this one. However, let me show you what we've done. Look, we've covered a lot of score lines. A lot of score lines have been covered here, and you can see that on the right side. But also, interestingly, we haven't Dutched it. So we've put in varying different amounts on all the different score lines. And let's just see how it plays out. We've got bigger amounts on these lower scores. Number one, because they are bigger prices. And to be honest, not sure what happened there. We actually haven't put in. We only put in £90. We're going to use a £100 stake. So I'm not sure what happened there. So let's add that on to the 2-0 and the 2-1, and now we're all set. This match is just about to kick off. Bayern Munich against Frankfurt. A lot of scores covered. Should keep it low risk, and we're going to try and squeeze out a profit. And remember, the aim is to try and see if we can make more than that 41%. Remember, 41% return on our stake. Let's see if we can squeeze more out of the correct score market. Half time in this one. Bayern Munich 1, Frankfurt 0. So this is definitely going to plan so far. Couldn't do anything on that 0-0. The goal arrived on 34 minutes. Obviously nothing on that 0-1 now. So we're on the 1-0. And look, we got to expect there's going to be more goals in this one. So we're going to lay off the green on the 1-0. That should do it. Yeah, so £17. We'll put that in to lay it off, bring down the overall risk on the trade, and put a bit more profit on the upper score lines. So that's in there. We put in the order at 7. That should get taken when the second half begins, and then we'll see how it develops. Definitely got to expect more goals in this one. Bayern Munich 1, Frankfurt 0. 70 minutes on the clock in this one, and there is a twist. Frankfurt have equalised. Okay, so we're on that 1-1 score line. And so, look, the cash out's offering us around 43, maybe £44 that we could lock in. But anyway, we're going to keep pushing this. Have a look at the expected goals. Based on that, Bayern Munich should still be winning. We should still expect that Bayern Munich victory in this one. So we're going to lay off the green on the 1-1. Main reason to do that, I mean, look, it's going to put more green on the target score lines, but also we can't discount the fact that this match could get away from Bayern Munich and Frankfurt could take the lead. And then we don't want to lose the majority of our stake in that case. So once this is done, you're going to see that we've now got the overall risk down to £38 on this one. So we entered with £100 of risk. Now the most we could lose if this goes completely belly up is £38. So always important to keep track of the losing potential. Okay, don't just look at the potential winners. So anyway, here we are. We're looking for Bayern Munich to take the lead, and but then we should be in a nice cash out position. And just to show you again, look, we could take that £45, but we're going to keep pushing this for the video demonstration. 1-1, 72 minutes on the clock. So we're deep into injury time, and it looks like this is probably going to be the final score. Bayern Munich 1, Frankfurt 1. Very surprising result, and no doubt a lot of people going to be burned by this. Bayern Munich short price favourite at home. Yeah, it's a very popular bet with a lot of punters, but for us, we are going to just break even on this, so no damage done. And that's one of the big benefits of correct score trading. We can be flexible. You could see we had a very nice profit sitting there if Bayern Munich were to have won it late on the 2-1, and in this case a draw. We've broken even. Worst case scenario, let's say Frankfurt won it, only a 38% loss on our stake. So again, shows you the big benefits and the flexibility of trading a correct score market. So anyway, this one's pretty much done, and yep, surprising result. Many will be burned by this one, but we will come out break even. Bayern Munich 1, Frankfurt 1. Pretty much the final score here. Serie A action here. Napoli at home to Roma. You can see Napoli odds on favourite, so around 50% of the time they're going to be winning this match. And let's have a look at the over and unders. So slightly favourite unders, but anyway, let me show you what we've covered here. Obviously favourite the Napoli win. Plan B's involved with a 1-1 and a 1-2, and yeah, apart from that, pretty much covering that Napoli win. So £100 stake, 59% for £59 of profit potential to play with. in play. Let's see what happens. It's just about to kick off. Half time in this one. It's Napoli 1, Roma 0. So this is going to plan at the moment. We favoured Napoli, as you can see, and they're leading 1-0. So far, so good, really. Now, the question to ask ourselves is, do we forecast more goals in the second half? In this case, we are expecting more goals in the second half. So we are going to lay off the 1-0 scoreline, boost up the profits on the next possible scoreline. So we're going to lay off around 22 on 3.6. Just going to put that in. That's the next tick to be taken. That should get taken pretty much when the second half starts. And then that will put a bit more profit on the next possible scorelines. And then we'll just react when that next goal arrives. I mean, if there is no next goal, we'll just have to take a break-even trade. But anyway, Napoli 1, Roma 0, half-time. 76 minutes on the clock. It's Napoli 1, Roma 1. So we're here, 1-1, £81 on the 1-1 scoreline. Still got 1-2 and 2-1 covered as well. £50-ish on the cash out. So anyway, look, we've got to anticipate potentially more goals. And at the same time, leave us a profit. So we're going to lay off some of that green on the 1-1. It's going to leave us with, let's just get this in. So it's going to leave us, look, if there are no further goals, £52 of profit. But we would leverage up nicely if there is another goal onto the 1-2 or the 2-1. Ideally to Napoli, because then we've got 3-1 covered as well. So anyway, a bit more green on those score lines. Let's see what happens. It's 1-1, 76 minutes on the clock. 86 minutes on the clock. We got the goal we're looking for. Napoli have taken the lead. It's 2-1 to Napoli. We're on that 2-1 scoreline. We've still got around £33 of risk in the market, but we can lay off the 2-1 scoreline, as you can see, that I'm going to do right here. It's going to leave us with decent profit on the 2-1 scoreline. It's going to leave us with profits on all the other scorelines, but we still then got a bit of a nice bonus profit on the 3-1 scoreline to Napoli. So if they can add another one, then we will leverage up nicely. If it remains like this, we're going to make £97. If the surprise equaliser comes for Roma, we're going to make 67, okay, which would be a little bit annoying, but we're still going to make some profit. And of course, it's still in your hands to adjust it. I mean, we could actually, do you know what, for the demonstration, let's just show you here. Okay, we could lay off a little bit more and give ourselves, a little bit more if it was to go to then 2-2, okay, if Roma were to equalise. So let me just show you how that's going to work. We're laying off £30 at 1.25. That should get matched in just a moment, and then you'll see that will put us with £97 on the 2-2 and a little bit less profit on the 2-1. Anyway, that order's in the market. We'll just leave it there, and then we'll be right back and see how this one develops. And so just to quickly round off, that looks pretty much like that is going to be it. It's going to be final score Napoli 2, Roma 1. So as you saw what we did, I mean, I greened it out pretty much on all the other score lines, but we still leveraged up that potential profit on that 3-1, which would have been very, very nice if that came in. But either way, look, we've made a profit, £89, so it's an 89% return on our stake, and it was pretty smooth sailing as well. You saw how the trade developed. 1-0 went to 1-1 and then 2-1, and we traded as it went along. Okay, so anyway, final score Napoli 2, Roma 1. So I hope you enjoyed checking out those examples, and the best thing to do really, just go into the markets and give it a go. Cover a whole bunch of score lines. It keeps the risk low, and just see how you can trade your way out from there. Okay, try a whole bunch of matches. And if you missed it earlier on and you didn't grab it, you want to learn more about how to take your correct score trading to the next level, then download this book that's on the screen. It's the Correct Score Mastery Course Prospectus, and this will explain everything you need to know about how to master correct score trading. Okay, it's a free ebook. Click the link in the description, submit your email address, and we will email it right to you, and then you can go from there. But anyway, if you did enjoy this video, then there should be another video on the screen right now. If I can work my magic, I'm going to try and make this video be about correct score trading also. So I strongly advise whatever video is on the screen, head over and check it out right now. Go grab another nice cold beer and let's get into it.